Welcome to our LCF Lifestyle Talk for today. It's Tuesday and yung topic natin every Tuesday would be Low Carb Tuesday. Paano piliin yung low carb at bakit natin kailangan piliin yung low carb? And as you already know, low carb is our way of eating para mababa yung ating blood sugar, mababa yung ating insulin burden sa ating katawan at bababa rin yung inflammation natin sa katawan. Hindi lang naman carbohydrates yung only source ng inflammation, pero isa ito sa pinaka-importanteng kailangan nating i-tackle because 90 to 95% ng mga tao sa mundo are actually over-consuming, overeating their carbohydrate intake. So today, pag-uusapan natin ang iba't ibang uri ng carbohydrates at ang epekto nito sa ating blood sugar. So this graph will show you yung ating carbohydrate spectrum or blood glucose impact of food. So from pinakamababa would be the normal around 70, meaning it will not have any effect so much when it comes to your immediate na blood sugar rise as compared to the other end of the spectrum, yung nasa color red. And we can see there na from 70 going up to 300, nakikita natin na the smiley below from very happy to crying. So yon, ibig sabihin, of course, we have to avoid that. So we categorized it not the usual way. I know marami na sa inyong mga diabetic na knowledgeable na about low GI na mga food products. Low GI meaning low in glycemic index. Ito yung nasa gitna, the yellow one. And sila actually yung kailangan nating i-focus because those foods are being overeaten simply because hindi nga sila na belong sa high GI foods. But what we do not know is they are not so safe at all. If you can see yung nasa red spectrum natin, the high GI processed foods, meaning ito yung mga pagkaing immediately nakakapagpataas ng ating blood sugar and right after it can cause inflammation hindi lang dahil sa secondary effect ng insulin rise, but it is also because marami itong kasamang mga chemicals, preservatives, and other extenders that is addicting and inflammatory, especially yung mga pagkaing merong sangkap ng mga vegetable oils, yung mga seed oils, or yung mga tinatawag nating factory-made oils. Hindi sila natural oils. And if you combine them all together, then those will lead into immediate na pagtaas ng blood sugar level. And at the same time, there will be increase in your inflammatory level. So parang malalak in yung blood sugar na taas na yon, and it can cause damage sa ating katawan, especially to our bloodstream, yung ating vascular health, where yung pinaka sense of cardiovascular impact, heart attack, strokes, atherosclerosis, pagkakos ng mga embolus or emboli, those things can happen. So we already know na ang candies, cakes, donuts, soft drinks, especially processed na mga fruit juices, those are already high in glucose index and everything should be avoided. And just before the low GI whole foods, nandyan yung white rice, yung white bread. Okay? And I know marami na rin sa mga diabetics na nag-a-avoid nito, and they are choosing what we consider as better alternative. But if you will see closely, gaano ka layo yung difference ng white rice to brown rice, white bread to whole wheat bread, and yung isa pang paborito ng karamihan, the oatmeals. So we can see here na it's actually not very far. So yes, it is a little lower than the ones na considered as high in glucose index. So yung sobrang taas yung impact sa ating bloodstream when it comes to blood sugar level. But you can see here, it's actually not that much difference. So, if you have been wondering kung bakit hindi masyadong bumababa yung inyong blood sugar kahit pa hindi na kayo kumakain ng white rice, ng white bread, ng soft drinks, ng mga candies, desserts, ice creams, it could be because you are overeating. Yung mga pagkain tinatawag nating whole foods, yes, they are whole foods. Yes, they are low glucose index. But remember, they are only considered low in glucose index because it is being compared to the ones na high in glucose index. But if you will compare them with real low-carb foods, yung mga pagkaing halos walang impact sa ating blood sugar, then you can understand why us low-carbers don't actually promote eating whole grain, wheat bread, brown rice, red rice, black rice, and even fruits. And meron pang isa dito, kamote, including other root crops, because these are still starch. At yung starch ay isa ring uri ng carbohydrates that can easily be turned into glucose. So just one step processing lang, it can still become the same sugar na parang nakukuha nyo din sa pag-inom ng soft drink sa pagkain ng candy. In fact, there is this one article recently in New York Post indicating that eating rice in the morning is like eating candies for breakfast. Ganun po kadali yung pag-transform ng complex carbohydrates, which would be the starch. Usually, ito yung mga low GI whole foods na nasa gitna, but they can still easily spike your blood sugar towards this caution to danger list. And if you overeat them, all the more they can be easily become danger when it comes to that level. Pwede ka nang pumunta sa danger zone. If you don't believe this one, I challenge you to make your own experiment. Try a day na wala kang kinakaing anything on the low GI whole foods and high processed foods for breakfast. You can just eat the ones na nasa low carb whole foods kasama ng itlog, karne, low carb vegetables, avocado. You can have that kahit mas marami pa as compared to another day nakakain ka ng 1 cup of rice. Try to monitor your blood sugar after 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 1 hour after eating. Compare it to your blood sugar right before eating. And then you can really see the difference. Yung 2 hours postprandial monitoring, yung pagkuha ng blood glucose 2 hours after your meal intake might be a little too late, especially for those na insulin sensitive pa. So with that, you might not be getting the real picture of how the ones in low GI whole food actually spike your blood sugar level. Baka too late na at hindi mo na ito makita. That's why for experimentation, just like what we promote in our low carb and fasting masterclass, especially for diabetes, where there is a recommended schedule of blood sugar monitoring, especially sa mga nagsisimula pa lang and for those na merong iniinom na gamot to ensure na hindi magkaroon ng dangerous level of hypoglycemia and to help them to safely wean or tanggalin yung kanilang mga gamot with the help of their doctors, of course, either their low carb doctors or even their general internist or endocrinologist. Marami na po yung na-wean off from blood glucose na medications because eating low carb foods, especially low carb whole foods, will not spike your blood sugar. And the moment that your doctor can see a proper monitoring sa inyo that you can maintain a normal blood sugar level, you will eventually be become a graduate from your previous medications for diabetes or pre-diabetes. For those na mga pre-diabetic pa lang, it's good news kasi hindi pa kayo pumatong sa diabetic level. Just know that diabetes is said to be 10 years in the making. So if hindi ka pa diabetic ngayon, I hope you will not wait because hindi natin alam when will you reach that threshold. Pabata ng pabata yung mga nagda-diagnose ng diabetes ngayon. Noon, we thought na kapag bata pa ay na-diagnose with diabetes, that's already considered as juvenile na diabetes. But now, we can already see young patients na diabetic but the same profile as adults simply because they are being fed. Pinapakain sila parate ng mga pagkain. Sa totoo lang ay nakakapagtaas ng kanilang blood sugar more than what they need. When it comes to kids, the better option for food would be the natural proteins and healthy fats. So, natural ones, hindi yung mga factory made. Yes, they can tolerate some fruits from time to time, some starch from time to time, but it shouldn't be the bulk of their food. That is why us in low carb universe, we are not satisfied with just low GI index whole foods only. Okay? Hindi lang basta low GI index, but totoong halos walang glucose impact. Hindi lang basta low, but minimal to absent to very minimal impact lang. And what are those foods? Those are the foods that you can find on the blue, green, and blue spectrum. And that one you can enjoy as long as you do not eat them together with the ones na nasa gitna at nasa red zone. Okay? So that yung happiness level ng ating katawan, ng ating mga cells, ng ating health would always be on the positive side. Okay? So how do you start your low carb journey? If hindi nyo pa nakita yung video natin yesterday, I hope you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and also make sure na naka-follow ninyo as favorite yung page natin in Facebook. So we have Diet Doctora, this one is in Dr. Josephine Grace, Chua Rojo, and also the National Low Carb Day. So, 2 steps in low carb. First is remember kung ano yung dapat natin i-avoid. And if ever you still need healing, avoid the ones in low GI whole foods, kahit pa whole foods yan, and the high GI processed foods. At ano yung pwede natin kainin? We can still enjoy many foods just like pork, beef, poultry products, chicken, eggs, fish, and even seafood. For those na merong concerns when it comes to allergy, hindi nyo naman po kailangan kainin lahat ng ito. Just eat the ones that you can tolerate. And sa may mga allergy sa seafood, you can eat fish. If you are allergic to chicken, you can eat beef. If it's not allowed in your religion, you can eat pork. So, marami pong paraan. At marami pa namang other sources of proteins that you can enjoy. So, focus on the low carb whole foods on the blue spectrum ng ating spectrum of carbohydrates and food when it comes to blood glucose impact. So, thank you so much. This is still in celebration of the National Low Carb Day 2022 na ginawa natin last 2 Sundays. And maraming salamat for your support. And for those who wish to have a low carb and fasting private session with me, I have an online appointment every Mondays and Wednesdays. And also, I have an upcoming face-to-face na session this coming October 14. So it's going to be Friday. So if ever you need that one, you can schedule it from our admin chat at this number. And some announcement lang, we will have a meet and greet on October 22 in Dumaguete and November 29 in Boracay. So if you happen to be in those areas or malapit yan sa inyo, you can book because our slots is only limited to 10 people to make sure it's intimate and we can have more memorable times together. And sa mga hindi nakadalo ng National Low Carb Day last October 2, we have part 2 of National Low Carb Day, and we still invite those na sumuporta the last National Low Carb Day, and we hope to see you again because we are preparing to make it even better, to improve whatever needs to be improved during the last event on the Low Carb MNL Fun Run and Family Day on December 4, 2022. So thank you so much, everyone. And for our virtual participants, I hope you are already part of these private groups. And for those naman who are still starting, you are more than welcome to be a part of Life Without Rice, na kung saan makita natin ang iba't ibang mga menus ng mga pagkain without rice. Low carb whole foods, mostly yung ina-approve natin dyan. If you tried to submit one of your entries sa food at hindi yun in-approve, most likely because hindi siya nakapasa sa ating criteria. Life Without Rice is one of the strict, pinaka-strict na grupo sa low carb because we are considering so many things, including the ones in the caution list, because yung mga tao po dito hindi lang basta interested in weight loss, hindi lang basta pagpapapayat, but most importantly on healing. At kung meron mang mga ingredients na nasa caution list of our JGC Rojo food list, for those na hindi pa alam yan, you can check that out. I made a video on explaining what is the JGC Rojo food list para sa guide ninyo. It's usually when we post the ones na merong caution list, it is with the right mindset and consideration, hindi yung basta wala lang. And of course, for questions and concerns in low carb and feasting and fasting community, we have our admins there. We always thank our admins for your support. So nasa 430 plus thousand na yung Life Without Rice, and more than 300,000 na sa ating LCFF community. So that's it. I hope to see you. Maraming salamat. And of course, we would like to say thanks to all of our partners who are enabling us to make this advocacy possible. So maraming salamat. And we have an upcoming na mga shows. So every 12 noon, you will have a new video from me. And every day, meron tayong iba't ibang topic. So these are our schedule on what to expect on a day-to-day basis sa ating LCF Lifestyle Talk with yours truly, Dr. Rohotan. Yan, another one. So that's for our Mondays to Sundays schedule. So I hope to see you again next time. For those na merong mga questions, reserve them on Thursday because Thursday is about Tanungan Thursday, and tomorrow it's going to be Winner Wednesday. So if meron kayong scale and non-scale victories, kindly put them in the comments para ma-share natin yan bukas, or you can actually join us. If you can go live, I hope you can share your own victories. Ano yung mga wins ninyo in low carb and fasting lifestyle. And that's our video for today on iba't ibang uri ng carbohydrates in low carb lifestyle, iba't ibang uri ng carbohydrates and things that we can enjoy na hindi kailangan mag-spike yung ating blood sugar, and we can still ensure that we are going to heal. So this is the spectrum of blood glucose impact of food, and I hope you learned something today for your wellness and for your health. So remember to always stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Maraming salamat po. Till next time. Bye!